Hello and welcome. I'm Brielle and you're watching Vitamin B, a show about pursuing big dreams with undefined paths, letting go of judgment, and living life on our own terms. If you're new here, I highly recommend you go back and watch the trailer for season 1 of Vitamin B, as well as the first 3 episodes in that season. I feel like they do a really good job of showcasing what this channel is all about and giving you a good idea of my story and why I'm sharing all this. Today, I am talking about releasing the fear of being judged and sharing some ways that I do that for myself so that I can show up on camera in front of all of you and in general share my ideas and go out into the world and bring my dreams to life. So let's get started. First thing I'll say about judgment is that, yes, people will judge you. Strangers on the internet will judge you. Some of your closest friends and family members will judge you. Your colleagues will judge you. People you went to middle school or high school who are still following you on social media will judge you. But whenever we judge, we are judging from a place of our own insecurities, or this judgment we feel is actually a signal, a map, letting us know that there is something about this person, this idea, this experience, this way of relating to the world, this piece of content that mirrors something back to us, like mirrors an insecurity that we have, mirrors something that we're uncomfortable with. And also it can act as a signal of pointing out something that we really want to do that maybe we haven't given ourselves permission to do yet. A quick example of that in my own life is many years ago when I was living in New York, I briefly dated a musician. And while we were dating, he told me, we didn't date for very long, we only dated for a month, and we broke up on something totally unrelated. But it was a really helpful relationship, brief relationship for me, because I remember one night we were talking, we were out to dinner at in the West Village, and he shared with me, he was a musician, and he shared with me that his purpose was to inspire other people through his art and by sharing his music. And at the time, to be honest, I thought that was like pretty ridiculous and also a very lofty thing for someone to say. And I really thought to myself, didn't speak it out loud, but I didn't share it with any of my friends, but I really thought, like, what gives you the right to like think that you're that good as an artist, as a musician, that can be your purpose? Because in general, at that period in my life, I felt like creativity and pursuing creative pursuits, especially in exchange for money, was something that was only available to a select group of people, and I was not one of them. And that only a few select people got to inspire other people by sharing their story, sharing their creativity, sharing whatever it is that want to come out of them. Thank goodness I have rewritten all those beliefs for myself, because otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you today. It was only years later that I was able to go back and really see that story and that situation and see my own judgment for what it was. An opportunity to really acknowledge and go into this deeper desire that I had and still do have, and to really connect with my own purpose. So the next time you feel any kind of judgment, I highly encourage you to not classify it as bad or good, not put a label on it at all, but instead to open up your journal and just take 10 or 15 minutes and just write about what this feeling feels like. You know, why do you think you have it? And kind of ask yourself some questions around it and just sit in the asking of the questions, because you might discover an answer, you might discover something that is a hidden dream, a hidden desire, and then if you listen really closely, I have found that you will also discover the next step for you to take. The second thing I like to think about is living so much in my joy and loving the experience of whatever I'm doing or creating so much that I don't even care if people are judging me, right? Because I'm just so happy. And I feel like if you've been watching this channel and if you connect with me on Instagram, then you can see some of this and how I've talked about it. So I was really scared to start a YouTube channel and release it into the world, and also to release it around this theme and idea around pursuing big dreams with undefined paths. That is now a phrase that I can say with full confidence and clarity into the camera and with anyone that I talk to about my YouTube series. But in the beginning, I still felt pretty tenuous about it, and I had to really quiet this voice that would like to pop up and say, that's not a good enough theme. You can't make a whole YouTube channel about this theme. I had to just like quiet that voice over there. So now I really try to tap into just loving what I'm doing so much that that's pretty much all I have energy to focus on. And as a performer, I think that if you've performed at all, or even if you've just been in what we would call maybe a flow state at work, or a flow state in your own projects or hobbies or passions, I think we've all felt this when time doesn't fly by, but time just really flows and we kind of lose track of time and we're just so focused and in whatever we're doing or creating that all of our energy is going there and all of our energy is going there. I also like to think of this visual of this almost like mountain. So when we think about the hierarchy of emotions, joy, gratitude, those types of emotions are all at the very top, and these, what I would say, are lower vibrational energies like judgment, negativity, despair, overwhelm, anxiety, they live at the bottom. And if I am so focused on living in this space, like living in the joy, and I think about it as a mountain, it's like the emotions and the energies and the people and the ideas or whatever it is that is down here being thrown up at me, it actually can't reach me on the mountain because I'm living so much up here. And that's something that really helps me. And I really like to think about those moments as a dancer and on stage or as an actress in front of the camera when I couldn't even tell you what was happening or what was going through my head because I was just so in it and I felt like I was floating on a cloud. That leads me to the third way that I'm able to release the fear of being judged, which is by asking myself this very simple question of who cares? When we are creating, when we are showing up on social media for our businesses, when we are running our businesses, when we are sending emails, doing all those things, I think it can feel like everyone is watching us and everyone has kept track of how many times we have mentioned our offer in our Instagram story. And what I have found, the reality is that people aren't paying attention. I'm not paying that much attention, to what other people are doing. In general, human beings are pretty focused on ourselves and we just don't really pay attention to the minute details of everyone else's life or what everyone else is sharing on social media or sharing on YouTube or whatever it is. So I think there can be a lot of power and a lot of release that happens when I think about it from that place, who cares? If I am really living my life and making decisions for myself, my career, my business from a place that feels aligned to who I am and is in alignment with my values and just doing good, if my intentions are pure to inspire, to support, to help, to lift up other people, then that's enough. I think that's all that matters. And why do I care what other people have to say or think about it? Whether they're voicing those things out loud or keeping them to themselves. What really matters is that I feel good about the actions I have taken throughout the day and how I've moved through the world. And that's it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter what this other person thinks about what I'm doing or what I'm sharing. And I think the more I've been able to really understand what this principle means for me, I become so aware of how much we live life and we make decisions based on what we think other people are going to think is the right choice or irresponsible or responsible or good or bad. And the more I bring awareness to when I'm doing that in my own life, the more I see other people doing it or not doing it, and the more I can stand in my own power and move forward in a way where I'm not afraid. I would say the fourth way that I've been able to release the fear of being judged and be okay and be comfortable with being seen, especially online, is to really ground into my purpose. And I talked about this in one of my earlier videos this month. But doing that work and giving myself permission to have a purpose and to feel like I deserve to be a person and a human being on this earth, living this life with a purpose, has also been so much a part of that own journey. Because when I do that, when I really ground into my purpose, then again, I don't really care as much around the individual judgments or comments that might come out of what I'm doing, because I know that I have a greater message to share and I feel really confident and grounded in that. And I also know that yes, I'm going to make mistakes, and my opinions are going to change, and what I think and feel is going to change, and I have to be okay with sharing what I know now to be true for myself, and also be okay with changing that. And I forget which writer, I want to say it's Elizabeth Gilbert, but I don't remember. But there's definitely a writer, I remember reading this quote from them years ago that said, you know, what I've written now, I'm not going to like or agree with in 10 years. And if I did, I would be doing life the wrong way, because the goal of our lives is to expand and to grow. And I really resonate with that. I'm a very different person than I was 10 years ago, and I hope I will be a very different person 10 years from now. So in that sense, all I can do is really share what I know to be true now, and be open to, you know, looking at my own beliefs and ideas and being honest about when they've changed and why things have shifted and all of that. And when I think about it from that place, it also helps me release a lot of fear around it. If you like what you see, please subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss a thing. You can also connect with me on Instagram and sign up for my email newsletter. How have you released fear of being judged in your life? How have you become more comfortable with being seen, whether it's online or in real life? Please share in the comments below. I would love to know, and I'm sure everyone watching would love to know.
It could happen out here.